So
Yeah.
what does your position look like? Like, what does a day to
Yeah.
day for you look like?
Yeah, so basically we have like this scheduling software. I get in every day, I have my emails all organized. I make sure I take care of I take care of whatever's urgent, but I set their schedules for the day. So all three and mainly Chris and Will's right now. So I make sure that Chris has everything. Like I check with Will and Gabby to make sure Chris has all the files he needs to master for that day. Make sure that everything's getting paid, make sure that, whatever went out the door yesterday is okay. But yeah, mainly just setting Chris's schedule, making sure that he has everything he needs to work, and then chasing the clients for everything that has not been uploaded to us, which
So
is a
that's
lot.
actually
Yeah.
pretty wild. So now you're
It
the
moves very
person.
quickly.
Oh, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
you're the person then that like, if Dua Lipa is getting something mastered from you guys, you and they're missing a file, you would, I assume not Dua Lipa, probably her management, right, or the producer of the track, but like
Mhm.
you're the person that goes and gets that track from them.
Yep. Yeah. So for example, like Dua Lipa, so she's an artist that's signed to Warner UK. And so I contact her name is Grace over at Warner, and she and I like that project was awesome because it ran really smoothly because her label's really easy to work with. They just
Mm.
email us. Josh Goodwin mixed most of it, and I would chase her, she chases Josh, or I could sometimes we'll chase like the mixer directly and just say like, hey guys, we need the files depending on the time zone and stuff. So you kind of have to be smart about that,
Mm.
depending on.
That is a nightmare. Oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh. Time
yeah,
zones for people that don't work internationally, like even myself prior to working doing these interviews and stuff, they
yeah.
are the worst. It's
It's
crazy.
I organize my inbox based on that basically. So,
Mm.
so we have Sterling actually has we have international coordinators. So we have coordinators that work on projects from Korea, Japan, China, you name it. So mostly those three though, the ones over in Asia, like the ones that are asleep and we're awake, like the ones on the
Yeah.
13-hour
Yeah.
difference.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Oh, hold on. I
I
lost you
do
for
every morning.
I
Oh,
lost you for a hot sec. What was that?
yeah,
So,
you're frozen. I was just saying I have them on like a special filter in my inbox, basically. So like I wake up every morning and I'm like, take care of you guys first because you're going to bed. And then
uh-huh.
yeah. But it is, yeah, it's a pain, but
Yeah.
it's awesome that we get the work. I mean, Chris has done so many awesome like K-pop records or like BTS and
Yeah, he was saying that.
Blackpink and yeah. So we're always excited to work with them.
Yeah, that
So
is really cool.
yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Just it blows my mind, just the steps in the music industry, you know what I mean? Like so I think that so many people, including myself very often, don't recognize the steps that of people that are in between. You know,
Oh yeah.
you know, I write a song and then I go and record that song. Okay, so then now I don't have a manager at the moment, but like a bigger artist, I would take my song to the manager, who the manager would then book the song at a studio, who then would have three different mixers, the engineer who sets up, and then
Yep,
that
the
that.
recording, the
Oh
mixing, the
my
mastering, and
gosh,
it's not always the same person. And sometimes maybe they want to hear something different. We'll book things like two different engineers here could be working on the same song because the client might want
fascinating.
to hear them both. And so we call it kind of a
Mm.
shootout
Mm-hmm.
where they'll book with like Randy Merrill and Chris, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
pick one or the other. Or sometimes they don't even tell us, and the song gets on Spotify, and we're like, whose master was it? Like, which one was it?
That's
So that's always
wild.
it's yeah, it's crazy because there could be it could just be you the artist could book with me. You could mix your own song and book with me and Chris, and that's like a 1 2 3. Or there could be like, I mean, again, like Dua, for example, she has a team of writers, and like
Mm-hmm.
so the writers have to like all kind of collaborate. And I'm personally fascinated by like that end of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more that happens than just by the time it's brought to mastering. They've gone through clearance to make sure that it doesn't sound like another song.
Oh
They've
my
gone through
gosh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, clearance to make sure none of the lyrics match something else. Like there's lawyers involved, and there's people at the label that are in charge of, sometimes songs will get all the way to the mixing process and then never see the light of day because they get shut down by like X, Y, and Z. And it's just fascinating. It's
It
incredible.
it
But yeah,
really is.
so
I love peeling back the onion of the layers of the music industry.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And then by the time it gets to Sterling, it's like go, 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 go.
Sure. How
We've
close are you guys to the actual release date typically?
anywhere from the closest I don't know, anywhere from like a few days, which is where we're really like sweating and
For
they've got to
major
get it.
artists, for like major label artists.
Yeah, I've seen things like pop up on Spotify like 4 or 5 days later, but I understand that like those are really special occasions and they must have something worked out because my understanding that it is that it's due like 12 days ahead or something.
Okay.
Maybe a couple weeks, like 1 or 2 weeks. But and there are other things that we'll work on and then like 6 months later it'll be
Yeah.
released or something. And I'm like, well, that was okay, cool. I forgot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely had forgotten because every day is different. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's somewhere they'll just be we'll just be sweating, and it's always fun, and that's where being really organized comes in handy because like I don't want to be the reason that somebody like I don't want to be the one that gave Chris the wrong file name or gave him the wrong notes or like missed an email or missed something, and then like all of a sudden like they went with another engineer because like I didn't get back to them fast enough or something.
Sure.
Like there's so many like different factors in it that can affect, you know.
So the business structure of Sterling, does then like Warner Brothers go to Sterling and just hire Sterling, or do they typically hire the specific engineer? Because you were saying you do some of these shootouts.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So we're all under the same mastering house,
Yeah.
Sterling Sound. And they'll usually, I mean, each engineer's team is a different like billing team, but it's all run by the same accountants, the same people, the same partners that are over. So Chris is actually one of the partners as well at the studio. So he's any if they don't book with Chris, I want him to book with anybody else, like at Sterling. Like
Yeah.
I'm yeah, we're all team players. We're all like we wanted to stay in house because everybody at Sterling is sort of on that team. Um, but yeah, so typically it will like Warner will reach out to if they want another engineer, they'll reach out to their manager or they'll reach out to one of us and say like, can you connect me with whoever manages Joe Laporta or Randy Merrill or Greg Calvi and yeah, so it's pretty much it's not like it doesn't get super competitive, but it is fun to like keep it all in house,
Sure. Of course.
whoever comes to us. Yeah, yeah. We're
Absolutely.
never, yeah,
Absolutely.
but it is,
So, in being this, in and being managing for an art, so technically you're an artist manager, I guess would be a good way to say it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know because your LinkedIn profile I think says project manager. I think.
God, I haven't looked at my LinkedIn.
Well, I was trying to find a good
I
photo.
think I updated it a little when I was at Sterling because I just kept getting like inquiries for like design work, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, so
But
I was looking
project
for a
manager,
good.
man.
Yeah, oh, that's yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
something along
So
the lines of that. Um,
yeah,
which kind of makes sense. You really are, but it's a big, I think, a more of a broader spectrum than just project management. That's I think one
yeah,
of the tiers of your job. Um, but I love that because so there's all these cool stories that you get. You're actually in the nitty gritty of the music industry, and for people that want to work maybe with music or have such an appreciate, because there's so many people that just love music and would love
yeah.
to do something with it, but necessarily, like we said, can't aren't going to
Like,
be a
where do I
superstar.
fit? Where do I? Yeah, yeah.
It's
Hmm.
the music industry is so much bigger than people realize. Like there's so many different jobs, whether it be managing an artist, within like and while Chris's name is tied to a million major label huge things, like he's not necessarily like known on the street, but he's still super relevant in the industry. It's just like people assume, oh, if I'm going to manage an artist, I have to manage Ed Sheeran, and it's like, well,
Yeah. No, you can. Yeah.
Chris probably knows more people in the music industry than Ed Sheeran does at this point. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and you just opening your eyes to that kind of concept is really, I think, important. For
Yeah.
a lot of people that want to work in the industry.
Exactly. No, it's like it's like a network or like a web. Like there's Ed Sheeran, there's Ed Sheeran's manager, there's Ed Sheeran's agent, there's Ed Sheeran's PR agent, there's Ed Sheeran's accountant, there's like his accountant's manager, there's his
Yeah.
other man. You're like, it just it trickles down to like everybody has like an assistant or like like we have accounting people who everybody here honestly like loves music too, which is cool. Like
Hmm.
everybody here is we're huge fans of like almost every like a lot of people that we work with and that is always fun to see and conversations that happen here just like are fulfilling and really fun, as opposed to sort of like some of the drier environments I've been in the workplace where you're like, what'd you do this weekend? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, I went to this concert and like the lights, and they did this and they pulled this guy on stage and they did, it's like, and everybody's like interested to like talk about music, and it doesn't
Yeah.
ever get boring. So
So
it's one
now,
thing I can appreciate.
how involved are you in the process, like when they bring an artist in? So Chris was saying that when an artist, sometimes they'll actually come to the studio and like be
Mm-hmm.
really hyper involved. Like, do you get to meet these artists? Do you get to hang around there? Are you kind of in a different room, or how does that typically work?
I like, yeah, we managers pretty much like we get everything set up, make sure they have what they need. Sometimes we'll have artists send like a rider. It's very rare, but like it's like, we'll get everything set up and then make sure that, we order food for the day, and make sure that they're happy and they've got what they need and their entourage is happy, and
Their entourage. It's
get them
what
all, get them all
a
set up.
world. What a world.
People bring in like, like security and stuff. And I just will go upstairs, make sure the receptionist is good. She'll make them coffee, do whatever. And then I run back downstairs and just kind of like get back to work. And like, I don't like to, I've never been like that though either. I'm always just afraid of famous people. Like, oh, that's just Lady Gaga hanging out in our parking lot. And I'm just like,
Oh my god.
I run back downstairs where I'm just like hiding because I don't want to overwhelm anybody. I want everyone to have like a nice, like,
Sure, of course.
a
Absolutely.
nice time. Like they're
Absolutely.
here for the engineer. It's fine. But yeah,
Well, but they're only here because of you.
it is true. Yeah, sometimes Chris will like call me upstairs to say hi and like do whatever. It's we'll like do like a little meet and greet. But it's yeah, we've had some really cool people come in, and looking forward to booking more bigger like sessions like that coming in and stuff now that COVID's been
Hmm.
sort of tamed. But yeah.